Greetings, everyone. Welcome to Schoolstone. I am LotusKnight, one of your three casters today. I am joined by basedinc and
Hello,
JRJuggerLaw. Base, how are you
Hey,
doing
everybody.
today?
I'm doing good. How about you?
I'm a bit tired, but I can't complain. How are you doing, JR?
It's Sunday, so I have mixed feelings about that, but I am definitely excited to be casting some Hearthstone.
Cool. Well, we have quite the matches for you guys today. We're going to start with a legacy match. We have Mike V from my team, the Good Luck Albatrosses, versus AstralFrog from Dirty Mike and the Boys, who's also Basedinc's brother.
Yes.
So
Shenanigans.
everyone here is biased other than JR, who's probably biased because he's friends with Mike. So we'll see how it goes.
I mean, that's debatable. I mean, I play with Mike on two teams, so I feel like even though this actually has no effect on my legacy status, it's I'm probably still rooting for him anyway. So nice try, Lotus, but we all know that's a lie.
So we'll see what will happen there. And for second match, we have a special one for you all. We have Mayanadon from the Beard Boys versus lilhearthie from Everyday with Triflin in Pro. Two great players who did amazing last season. And we're going to see who's continuing to do amazing this season, at least for the first week.
Yeah. Little Hearthie
Sure.
had one of the best records overall last season in Pro, so that's hopefully we can see him do it again.
Yeah,
Awesome.
I mean he was one of the captain, one of the two captains for All Pro, so that kind of speaks for itself.
Yes.
Yes, it does.
And Mayanadon is just always doing well in THL. It's no news that he's here, just getting amazing wins every season.
Do I remember he was crossover player last season?
Yeah, that's true.
He was, and he was coming off of a finals appearance in Legacy, in arguably one of the closest finals finishes we have ever had in THL, Legacy or otherwise.
That's true.
Finished by 1 hit point.
Yep.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm just glad I got to watch that match live because that was insane.
That is true.
Yeah.
So we'll begin with ItsMeMikeV versus AstralFrog. First off, just to know, there's this certain 4-class combination that's kind of everywhere right now. It's probably the most common class, and we're going to see it 3 times today. So I hope you're all excited to see Demon Hunter, Rogue, and Warrior. I think they're all just strong classes.
Oh, yeah.
They are.
It seems like it kind of became the go-to lineup, especially because Hunter is probably the best class to go into Demon Hunter and Rogue.
Right.
Yeah, like between, everything,
Yeah.
all the other classes beat one, but not the other.
Right.
Exactly.
The alternative we're going to see in lilhearthie's matchup, which is whether the priest can do something. I think it's an interesting choice to see the priest there. So we'll have to see.
Yeah.
And we'll talk more about their pro decks once it's time for the match. I do have all the deck lists ready to share with you all.
Yep. Open to everybody.
Yeah. So let me make sure the players are ready. Let's see if we can get the bans. So, JR, I'll start with you because Baze and I kind of know a bit more. What do you expect to be the bans here?
Let me see. Just double check with the matchups. So,
Okay, I already know the answer, but yeah.
It's sort of. I guess it depends. I've always said that when it comes to this match, it's either going to be they ban Demon Hunter, or they ban Warrior, depending on what decks they want to bring. So I'm inclined to say that, but because of but generally speaking, I expect it to be Warrior more often than Demon Hunter because Hunter and Rogue seem to struggle a bit versus Warrior. So I know I wouldn't be surprised if one of them bans Demon Hunter, but I'm expecting at least one Warrior ban out of this.
So there was a double Warrior ban.
Yeah.
Sounds about right.
Yeah, not too far from what we expect. I still don't like Demon Hunter as a class. I really hate playing against it. I don't know about you guys.
I honestly don't mind it. I think Rogue has shored up a lot of the matchup, and like the Warrior, just if you don't curve out perfectly as a Demon Hunter with a Priestess into an empty board, the Warrior's like gonna beat you almost every time. It feels like.
It's true. And I think the other thing to note is when it comes to Demon Hunter, it is a strong deck, obviously. But there are more than enough ways. There's more than one way of dealing with it if you know what you're doing based on the deck you're playing against it with. Because I mean, decks like Hunter and Rogue can definitely keep up with it. It's just not so much a reliable strategy because it's fairly dependent on you drawing certain cards. But that and also like not having such easy immediate it also kind of depends on whether they draw Priestess, because that can be one of the hardest things to deal with, regardless of the deck you're playing. So,
yeah, it feels like Hunter has the ability to race it, but Demon Hunter is like kind of has the same game plan as Rogue, where it's not a huge fan of the face damage. It's just better at racing, and it doesn't have the value generation that Rogue does. So that's kind of where it gets closer to the 50-50 with Hunter. But I still think that Hunter has a slight edge when you go with like the face build, just because it puts out so much damage.
Yeah,
it does. There's also just a factor of how I think Demon Hunter's biggest weakness is that it can't really deal with like a large board of minions.
Yeah,
right.
Large minions in and of themselves, and if and their strategy basically relies on like trying to beat you before those types of minions can even make like an impact.
Yeah.
So yeah, if you can hold them off long enough as the late game progresses, you'll be in great shape. Unless your opponent happens to draw both Priestesses and you're playing Warrior and your name is Robobson.
Or if you get an Altruist, where they just choose to clear your board and kill you in a single turn.
Yeah, I'll be honest.
That does happen.
Altruist hasn't been as much of an annoyance for me lately because I have not generally if it's being played against me and they're getting a lot going, like a lot of damage going, it's most likely in a game I already was going to lose anyway. That's just my experience, though.
Yeah.
So, are you guys ready?
Yeah.
Or do you have anything you want to say first, Baze?
No, I think let's get into the match.
Okay.
All I have to say is let the shenanigans commence.
Awesome. I will be queuing first to AstralFrog, just so you guys know. So he's going to be the bottom of the screen, and Mike V will be in the top.
Gotcha.
So what can you tell us about AstralFrog in terms of his Hearthstone ability based?
So he has been playing Hearthstone probably about as long as I have, on and off. So since launch.
Okay.
And he plays water polo in Switzerland. So with world events, he has no competitive outlet right now. He's back home, so I talked him into joining THL.
Nice.
I didn't realize that was such a matter of circumstance.
Yeah.
That got him to join. My goodness.
I mean, he does love to compete and he loves Hearthstone, so I think it's a great fit for him.
Of course.
Yeah. So we're going to begin with the Demon Hunter Mirror. This is exciting.
Or it'll be chock full of some ridiculous back and forth. We shall see.
I mean, probably both.
Yeah.
Exactly. It's a Demon Hunter mirror. I would expect no less.
Yeah. So turn 1 Battle Fiend. Very standard play.
Yeah. I think that both very strong opening hands.
Yes.
Probably a Battle Fiend.
They both definitely have plays they want to going. So AstralFrog's going to lead off with the Battle Fiend.
Okay. Choosing not to play the Battle Fiend alongside it.
Do you think that's a mistake? Because I feel like that's not a bad thing to coin into right now.
I don't think it's too bad right now, actually.
Yeah.
No. I mean, he does have the Chaos Strike that would clear it anyway, so I guess it's doable.
Yeah, I think that's like kind of why you keep the Chaos Strike, is if they can develop their own, you want to have the answer for it immediately.
Sure.
But the Umbra Wing pickup is going to be huge right here.
I'm sure he's also going about it, though, from the perspective of he wants to be able to Battle Fiend and then Crimson Sigil next turn, and then he can hold on to the coin for something else.
Right. I think there's also the fact
Or
that...
he's going to hold on to it in Hero Power. That actually also makes sense. Because he can play that thing at any time since it's on the left. It's not clogging anything up.
Seeing the Umbra Wing, I think that's
I'm just
fine.
curious to see when he's going to decide to use the coin.
I do think the coin's a pretty valuable resource in this, especially when you're going to be cheating mana anyways with
For sure.
Fell Screamer. So I don't think that the second half of the the second slice is too important if you don't already have a Satyr Overseer or the Glaive-bound Adept to kind of cheat the mana there. But
it's really strong pickup.
Yeah, this is definitely what I'm with him there. This is going to be a Fog Beam turn. Or sorry, what is that? I-beam. My God, what am I doing with myself anymore? Yeah, he's definitely going to want to clear that. Okay, yeah, good order. He's going to attack first to clear it. Yeah, you definitely need to deal with that the Satyr Overseer very quickly. So that's good that he managed to clear it out there.
Yeah.
He's putting himself in a very interesting spot though, because depending, like, ideally, I think he would probably want to coin out the skull, but he's not really going to have a good situation where he can make that happen.
No, he's not. But at the same time, the
I don't think
AstralFrog is deciding, does he want to use up the I-beam on the Battle Fiend, or does he want to just kill it with the weapon?
I really think you kill it with the weapon, because you're just using this I-beam to push 3 face if you choose to do this.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess 4 face because you get the hero power, but I think it's a more valuable resource. He could be considering wanting to almost guaranteed be able to play what comes off the top, because like if you pick up something that costs 5, you don't want to have to do that and then not be able to swell Gul'dan with this kind of slow hand.
Agreed. I will say though, I think that play would have been fantastic if he was coming on turn 6 next turn, where he would know he'd be able to play the skull.
Yeah.
I really like this.
And now this is unfortunate because he has to use the I-beam on the Satyr instead of and now both of his I-beams are going to be gone.
Yeah, like here you could have cleared off both of them. They'd be at 29, but you would have an empty board with your battle mage. But now you're gonna have to deal with the 2/2 to contest your battle fiend or your battle mage.
Yeah. And it's like he knows he wants to make the most out of his turns, knowing he may or may not have that much he can do next turn, because Skull's a powerful card, but it may not give him an immediate way of dealing with the Satyr.
Yeah.
Yeah, and if he doesn't deal, we know he can coin hero power.
Like, this is one of the points that people keep saying Skull of Gul'dan's so broken, but it really feels like now that you've made your deck heavier with the double priestess, you play the Fell Screamer, you get into these hands where you draw a couple extra of them, and you like have just such a heavy hand that becomes so awkward, and you can't really make the right plays.
It's difficult as figuring out when to use your cards, but at least Mike here, he's got a really good turn 5 here, as he's going to play the Sigil into Spectral Sight.
I don't think you need
I do think that you want to still develop the Cane here.
Yeah.
This is a tempo matchup.
I agree, but I could also see why he wants to do this.
I mean, it'll get over. Like, you have so much draw in your hand already. You don't need to be drawing there. You want to develop the tempo and draw later.
Yeah, I think he's also he kind of overlooked the fact that if he played Cane, he'd be able to guarantee play Skull next turn for the Outcast.
Yeah, that's the other thing. Is like you get to move it over there. It will get over into the Outcast position eventually. So you don't really need to worry about it. Choosing to ignore the Battle Mage.
I actually like this because he doesn't have a priest yet. He knows he can't have one, so he doesn't really have much to lose from going face, especially because he's still going to be in a pretty advantageous position. Unfortunately, those draws are really good for AstralFrog.
I think that they are okay. You don't really have anything to combo with the Fell Screamer, and also Yeah, I guess you have a pretty strong turn when you go Kane, Hero Power, and the Adept. But
Right.
I do think that there was definitely something worth considering of just playing the Kane and a Hero Power.
Yeah.
But these
This is still going to
curve
work
of
very nicely for Mike, though, because he's now going to be able to go face, and he plays that Priestess, which he's got... Right now, AstralFrog has no way of dealing with it. Okay, now he does.
Now he
But he's
does.
going to take a lot of
also-
damage if he's going to make that happen.
Yeah. You
Find a
can
big
clear
waste
a good amount of the board, but you take 6 face in the process.
Actually, no,
And-
wait. He doesn't have to take too much damage, but I still don't love the play itself because he's...
No,
know?
you need to keep the Kane. You cannot run the Kane into the 6/7. You're never winning this game. Like, you need to now race. You have used both your I-beams. You have no more life gain. You have to clear the Priestess. You have to keep a board and, like, put pressure on the opponent.
I think that's fair. Okay, I think AstralFrog sees that as well. So he's going to go face. I think he does. He seems to recognize the importance of Kane.
Yeah,
Kane.
Yeah, you do need to clean up the board. You can't go face with the Kane because,
Right.
like, you need to now preserve your life total, but you need to develop a board that sticks and is able to push damage the other way. But the other Priestess...
This is going to be rough, though.
Yeah.
For AstralFrog, because Mike is now going to be able to clear this board and still have, like, some great options for next turn.
Or he could take the risk.
And like, he can go down to 60. Like, he's going to take some damage, but, like, given his life total, it's so irrelevant right now.
Yeah. You just keep cleaning up the board. I think that you probably want to develop the Priestess there, but this is also going to be quite strong. You can go Chaos Strike, take 9, clear the board, push 7. So I think that is definitely the play.
And understandably, the bigger thing with Priestess is that if he plays the Warglaives now, he gives himself a way to deal with the board currently.
Yes.
And he'll still have durability for next turn, so the Priestess could become even more valuable in that case.
He also knows there's no heal.
Yeah, this is still great. He brings AstralFrog down to 6, and while there's still some potential here with Skull, it's not looking good.
And there's always the chance
so he's got some options here with Altruist, but is there really anything he can do is what I'm wondering.
He would need to get
you're
damage,
dead to just the Hero Power and the Twin Slices in hand, so no matter what, this game is over right here.
Plus Kane, don't forget Kane for the extra damage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess this is just going to be one of those games where Altruist is not completely busted.
I mean, if you were in an even state and you didn't just take too much damage early, I think that it could have ended the game. You know, like, that's 11 life that you have. So if you just, stuck your board a little bit more often, you win that game, drawing the Altruist off of Skull there.
That's fair.
A lot of times.
And I mean, that is impressive that AstralFrog was able to do, like, a fair bit of damage to Mike, even with the limited mana at his disposal.
Right.
Yeah. But Mike is going to take game 1.
Mike does take game 1.
Very nicely done.
So we have now the Demon Hunter is out for Mike.
I'm sure he's thinking to himself right now, okay, I'm not going to get swept in my last 3 matches. We're ending that streak here.
Yeah, I think he can do it. And honestly, Mike is a very solid player.
So what do you think? Do you think AstralFrog is going to stick with Demon Hunter based?
I mean, I think that it's a good call. I think switching to the Rogue is questionable because they can go Hunter, but I think Demon Hunter, you keep the most even matchups across the board. Like, there's also the argument that Q order doesn't matter. I disagree with it, but I know people will flip a coin, roll a dice. But I think that just sticking Demon Hunter is fine.
I think there's an argument to be made that Q order matters more in some situations than others.
I mean, Q order matters
but I think
more.
the problem here is, like, you really want to stick to Demon Hunter because you know that if you do that, you're putting yourself. You just want to kind of get that out of the way, rather than like letting yourself fall behind.
We do see him stick for
by
Demon
trying to win
Hunter,
with
and Mike V
less
goes
effective
with
decks in given the matchups.
So we do see
so
Demon Hunter versus
is going to stick to Demon Hunter, and Mike is going to the Highlander Hunter, it looks like.
Right. I think this is going to be interesting.
Could still just be Dragon as well, but it could
That's
also be
possible, but I forgot what it was I saw in his first. Okay, yeah. I mean, this could be Dragon, but we haven't really been seeing much of it, so I'm curious. Oh,
Dragon
maybe.
stronger than people think.
It's nice as like an aggressive option, but it could be either. The snake trap still doesn't really give us a clue, but
No.
Right, exactly. It's like possible, but we can't be sure.
Yeah, I think
Dragon Hunter would also make sense though if he wanted to maybe give himself a somewhat better chance against Demon Hunter, knowing he left it up.
yeah,
And it still gives him pretty favored odds, I think, against Rogue. So, yeah. So he's going to start off with the Dragon's Breath. I think that's a good play. I mean, when you have, like, you don't really want to be doing nothing on this turn, and I don't necessarily like the idea of playing Phase Stalker turn 2.
yeah. It's going to get cleared up, so you go and just clear off the Battle Fiend, and not risk losing your Phase Stalker to the Twin Slice and clean up, or
that's a great draw. That's a great draw for Mike.
Yeah,
that's probably exactly what he wanted right now.
We do see that the I-Beam answers it really well, though. So it's questionable whether you want to do it or whether you just want to go
especially in the early game, Scale Rider is going to be great. And this is, he's going to play the Stormhammer. Okay.
I'm not sure about that one. I think that Scale Rider was too good to give up there.
Exactly. Right. I get why he's doing it, because this is sort of a play you would often see with Hunter decks where you could play the Dragon next turn, so you want to play the Stormhammer here.
Ooh, Lotus is asking if we can hear him.
Oh, no.
We cannot hear you, Lotus.
Oh, no.
I did think you were being unusually very quiet.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
Oh, okay, we're good.
I think you keep... you don't really need to use this weapon swing. You need to win the board and then flip in and push the damage. So this 2 damage going face, probably not a big deal. You really need to maximize it.
Hello?
I think you're probably looking into curving.
Hello?
Screamer I-Beam, but I think this is definitely a coin turn coming up.
Hello?
I mean, it depends, because...
Can you guys hear me now?
I mean, I guess that's probably right.
Yes, we can.
Okay, small Discord issues, but it's fine now.
Shenanigans.
Yeah.
What to do?
So I think this is also kind of the downside to going for Stormhammer there, because I think Mike was hoping that he could play the Primordial Explorer and then use the weapon to something like valuable to get rid of. But the problem with Demon Hunters, they don't really have much as far as like turn 3 stuff, maybe outside of Satyr. And even if he wanted to like rely on that, he still should have probably just played the Scale Rider and been like, okay, now I'll play the weapon to kill it. But now he's just going to play the Fairy Dragon and the Snake Trap and go face, which isn't bad, but it's definitely, it seems like maybe he could have developed the board a little bit better if he had played things differently the previous turn. But at least the Snake Trap is going to get procced.
I don't like proccing the Snake Trap. I think that you have a clean way of dealing with it. And also, like, Flame Trap or Explosive Trap is not as common in like specifically Highlander and Dragon.
Sure.
So I think you can kind of discount it being that, and you can just go face and then clear it up with the Glaive Bound.
Yeah, I sympathize, but at the same time, it does feel like, you got to consider that AstralFrog doesn't really know what he's playing, so he can't really assume what secret that.
I think once you see that it is not Face Hunter, you kind of discount Explosive, and like if you lose the 2 ones, you don't trigger the Snake Trap, because you kind of got to consider like what is bad for me to trigger, because like you really don't care about losing your 1 ones, but the thing. So again, I think that people are overvaluing the outcasts, right? So like AstralFrog went for outcasting the Sigil Runner because it was going to draw a card right now, where later it's going to be over there. Like you draw cards.
Right.
Eventually, you're a tempo deck. Play for tempo.
Right. Yeah. The Fell Screamer definitely seemed like the better play there, because it's a better use of his mana, and he doesn't have to use the effect right now. It's like he can draw something later that he can use it with. Not to mention now around the time you want to play it, because you expect the next demon you're going to play is going to be Priestess. So that really just works out as far as timing goes.
I do like this Fairy Dragon as a possible pickup, though, because I think it really helps him set up the next turns.
Yeah. You just kind of want to fill up the board right now.
Right.
Yeah. Don't think I love this.
No, I think the
Yeah.
problem though is that Mike's thinking about it more from like a long-term perspective. Like the fairy dragon doesn't give him any kind of immediate like answers to stuff, and he probably wants to just make sure he can stay. He can just generate more advantage and maybe put up something big like the big ol' whelp that he knows. AstralFrog won't have an easy way of removing.
Sure.
I really don't like
Yeah.
the coin for this. But
Yeah.
No.
I think that's just bad thinking. So Demon Hunter has the inevitability because it has so much damage. Like you're
Right.
not trying to go late against a Demon Hunter. That's why Priest doesn't reliably beat Demon Hunter. None of these late game decks do. Things like Warrior that just generate insane armor in the mid game.
I love this play though.
Yeah, this is real strong.
I love this play. This is great. Holding on to the weapon, perfect. And now next turn he can play the big ol' whelp.
I don't like just going straight for the skull.
No, I don't either. But I think it's also just because it's turn 6, and like that card is going to be playable later. I think like if his hand had cheaper cards in it, I'd probably be more, more up for that. I mean, it's fine. You could also argue that now it's nice he doesn't have to waste the effect of Fell Screamer on a Battle Fiend. But it doesn't. But it also doesn't advance his board nearly as much. So
no,
make of it what you will.
I think at the same time with this play, you can see now that AstralFrog has the board, but he has to waste a whole Twin Slice just to kill something like a Scale Rider. I think.
Yes.
I think you kill the 1/3.
The 1/3 is so dangerous there. It can just keep.
Yeah, he's
stuff.
really undervaluing that because now he can play the big ol' whelp, clear off the Battle Fiend, clear off one of the one ones, and then go face for even additional damage, and that's just really good.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Mike sees it. All right. And that's the other thing. The thing that's really problematic about not clearing the 1/3 is because Mike is going to be perfectly content trading that into AstralFrog's minions. The Scale Rider, you can't say the same thing.
Yeah, the Metamorphosis draw is also really bad here because it's not a card you wanted right now, and it blocks your skull.
No.
So I think that right now you do need to play it though, just because it cleans up the board. You're in a spot where you have to answer this board.
Right.
Yeah.
But that's the thing. It's less than ideal because he's using it to answer one of his minions and not deal direct damage because like Mike is in such a good spot life-wise.
Yeah, but like that was just a series of things that has led up to this, like where you didn't play for tempo, you tried to draw, like you valued Outcast. So people want to always say, "Oh, Demon Hunter's so easy to play," but this is the mistakes that I see constantly.
So here's my question for you. Mike could potentially do a lot of damage here and play 3 minions. Okay, no, he's not going to play the big ol' whelp. Interesting. I see what he's doing, though. Never mind. Okay, this is actually really good. I think he wants to now Scale Rider the 1/1.
Oh, I think he wants to Scale Rider the 1/1.
No, okay.
I can see letting him live because it's such a small target. You just want to get the Fell.
Yeah. I like ignoring it and playing the big ol' whelp.
I think ignoring it is fine, but I think I see why. He played the 5/4 because he can't hit it with the Metamorphosis. That's why.
Nor with the IB.
Yeah, that is
okay. I was like wondering why don't you just play the big ol' whelp because it's more mana efficient.
There is an ooze, which is really good here.
That's very important right here, but it still does not deal with the Frenzy Fellwing.
No, but it deals with the weapon.
Evasive Feywing, my god. Yeah, he's still going to be in a difficult spot, unfortunately.
Yeah, you can clean up this whole board, though.
He can.
So I think you definitely do it. You use the cane as just a trading tool, and you go face with this and develop your 3/2 and your 2/2.
Yeah, he's not out of it yet. But he's not going to. But he's also not going to be thrilled with all the cards he's using. Wait, what?
Just race here.
Really? Oh my.
Race.
But
you don't have any damage in hand, so it's very
very risky. But I think he also knows that Mike probably doesn't have much in his hand to actually deal like 5 extra damage. His only bet here is to hit him with the Dragonbane. Oh wow! Wait a second.
So Mike is calling for the race. Is he going to go Face Stalker, Dragon's Bane, Hero Power?
I mean, that's the best option here. No question.
Yeah, I like doing that first before making the decision to go face, just
Because
in
then I
case.
might have been like, why don't you clear the cane if like it's not cleared? Because then that could be a problem.
Yeah, I think, you know, you say, okay, you do not have Altruist with the damage to finish this game.
Right.
Right.
Ooh, that's rough. Okay, he's playing the freezing trap.
It's an interesting secret.
I will say that that's the one upside to hitting the 1/1 with the hero powers, that these are things he'd rather have go back to hand than the 1/1. So,
And nothing.
and there's the Altruist.
Combo with it though.
It's pretty bad at this point because you can't use it.
Yeah.
No.
So the game is now over.
Pretty much. I mean, Mike also probably went face partially knowing that he used both skulls, so he knew he didn't have any like massive swing potential.
But there's no way for you to clear off enough of this board to not be dead.
I don't think so, right? Oh no, because like if he uses the hero power, he just takes damage, and he's got no way to gain some life. So
yeah, and the freezing trap makes it so
and
you
the freezing
can't
trap
clear
removes one of them, right? Yeah, that's it.
So.
Mike is going to take game 2 and find himself one win away from actually tying up the series, and saving the Good Luck Albatrosses from a defeat, a week 1 loss. Yep.
Well played.
Unfortunate turn of events for AstralFrog, but you know, just some card mismanagement here and there. Kind of just made it easier for Mike to capitalize on it.
I agree. I think this game, there were some points. The Demon Hunter, as much as people say it's trivial, it's not that easy to play. And we saw it this time where the Hunter was able to get the lead and just close the game out.
Yeah, it's also that I think because of the higher mana curve that we're noticing in these builds with the Fell Screamer and the Priestesses, you know that sometimes getting the outcast effects going can be a little easier said, a bit more easier said than done compared to before.
Right. I think a lot of people, I personally, the last list I was playing did not have Priestess, exactly not to mask the outcast. So you play things like Questing Adventurer, which loves Skull.
Yeah.
There's a lot of Skull lovers. And you don't need the Priestess, and don't need the Fell Screamers, because those are clunky.
They are. But I think at the same time, if you know what you're doing and you get enough practice with the deck, you'll find that, you know, those Priestesses can be used extremely effectively most of the time and don't really create a lot of problems, or minimal problems. All right, so now Mike is ending with the Galakron's Secret Rogue.
And we do see the
Face Hunter, indeed. Yes, the build with Scrap Shot and Stone Tusk Boar.
I like that build. At the same time, this is an amazing start for Mike.
Yeah. The only thing he's missing, honestly, is Van Cleef.
Yeah.
Like, he could easily make a pretty big Van Cleef early on, and then AstralFrog's like, well, what do I even do now?
Right.
And the problem with AstralFrog's hand is that he does not have much to work with, because he's not going to have something mana efficient.
I mean, that is
like
his
hand is awkward.
It's a lot of damage.
He's got a lot of damage, but he still doesn't really have anything to directly answer the board. And I mean, Mike's going to have some good plays for himself. You know, that's the thing. So he's just going to hero power and I guess wait to play the quest next turn.
Yeah, but I don't think you're worried about this one too. You don't really play for the board very much. So
I know that I love the trick.
No. But what I'm saying is, like, if he has to be careful, because Mike could if Mike is going to play that Candle Taker next turn, and that is going to, you know, really allow him to just advance the board, advance damage. Like, it may get to a point where AstralFrog will have to focus on board clear as opposed to direct damage because of the pressure that Mike is putting on him.
Yeah.
And oh man, that miscreant is not going to make things any easier, as with the Hanar, because I mean, the only way that AstralFrog answers this is playing playing Eagle Hornbow or Kill Command in combination with Arcane Shot, and you know he does not want to do that.
No, you're going to need to let the Hanar live, which is always panicky.
Yeah, it's a question of how much does he want to react to that, you know?
Yeah.
She's gonna trade it off. Yeah, I can understand that. I
Okay.
have to agree with him on this one. I don't think you can let it live because you know there's so many things that Mike can do with it, and you know if you don't stop it now, it's gonna get out of control very quickly.
Yeah. At the same time, we can see the Galakron draw. That draw is very major just because of how much impact it can have later.
Yes, especially with giving yourself extra armor, and even just 2 0-cost cards could be huge.
Yes.
And Mike decides to go for the Evil Miscreant as opposed to the Candle Taker, which, I mean, it's fine. It's just that I think you probably want to put the Candle Taker out first, knowing he did already have the another like lackey for the to make the Miscreant work, and this way you're kind of focusing more on damage.
Yeah, I agree. You want to put something out that's actually going to start pushing more damage.
That being said, I will also acknowledge this play ended up working out better for Mike because now he can attack, he can evolve the Miscreant, and then he can also play the Candle Taker, which won't be affected by the Explosive Trap in any way. So you could argue it worked out for the best.
Or he can evolve again.
He can.
Yeah.
But either way, it works out very nicely for him.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I don't think you go into it with that, knowledge of, oh, they're going to have the Explosive Trap.
Yeah.
No, of course not. It just happened to be that, like, he wanted to get the Miscreant off as quickly as possible, and that ended up working out for him very nicely.
Yeah.
Yeah. We do see him finish the side quest.
Yes. And it looks like he's going to play a Scrap Shot, clear off that Weaponsmith, which
you might
have
just
to.
Scrap Shotting the face, because next turn you always go face. You have 9 damage in hand after this.
Mike's already at 20. That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is actually pretty much, I think, lethal threatened. If there's no way to
because
stop
that's a lot of
this
damage in hand now.
face.
Yeah.
Well,
This
Mike should probably at least consider
draw.
playing the counterspell. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not great though.
Really helps. Oh, I think it's pretty amazing. Just
It's
having
helpful.
the now.
It's right, but it feels like a band-aid right now as opposed to like
Yeah, but your goal is mostly to survive to the point where you can play Galakron at this point.
That's fair.
So if there's proper ordering, the game is over.
Yeah, I think so, right? Because he's going to be put to 10. He's got 5 damage already, and then he's going to have another 9 from hand. And even if he plays the Arcane Shot first to bait out the counter spell.
Yeah, that's all you have to do is make sure that the kill can infinite.
Always be an
Actually,
he can.
But
no.
I think it doesn't matter because with the hero power, the game's over.
Yeah,
right, because wait.
Yeah.
No, because if he had a taunt, if he somehow got a big taunt up, not necessarily, but
well, yes, but he didn't.
No.
Right. No, he did not.
Yeah, I don't like that. You start with the arcane. Oh
no, he's not.
Okay.
But the game's still over.
Barely, yeah.
Yeah.
He still has exact lethal.
Mm-hmm.
The thing with the Face Hunter and why they really like this matchup. Rogue does not have healing anymore. Rip Ziliax.
Yep. And no Snip Snap Ziliax combo. Well, that's unfortunate. I mean, Mike still got the lead 2-1, but now this means that Dirty Mike and the boys win for the week.
Yes, it does.
Still, I'm sure Mike would be very satisfied with getting a win for his team after how much they've been struggling this week. So, all points matter. Let's not forget that.
True. That being said, I think DMB was a very underrated team just because of how many... Their curve is actually really good, and they managed to have some very good plays in the middle. So we'll see what will happen this season, but I think Mike still stands a very strong chance. Looks to be...
I get the impression that when it comes to, like, lefties teams, like, they're generally very highly rated, but I think in the case of recently, like both Tampam and Dirty Mike and the boys have kind of struggled the past couple seasons. So because of that, they've been like they haven't been like as much on the radar.
Right.
But I also think, like, with Dirty Mike and the boys, like, you know, I don't want to get too much into detail on it, but, like, definitely looking at the pickup with Fuel can definitely go a long way. And Tony Montana in the 3 seed is pretty nuts. So I definitely could see them pulling up like a unexpected comeback this season. So I'm looking forward to seeing what the Red Conference holds, because it's pretty ridiculous.
I would
won't
say
lie.
so, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I think the only big teams that were like missing from our conference are like Amber Flight Gaming, just because of some of the players on that team, including Itachi and the Zilps.
Yeah, pretty much everyone else is in the same conference. So we do see the turn 1 girl there just setting a good body.
Yeah.
I like this play
I
a lot.
agree with holding onto the backstab. Yeah.
Yeah.
Gives him some more options.
Right.
I mean, if this was a Battle Fiend, maybe you'd feel differently, but I'm sure he's partially thinking, okay, I want to save this for maybe the Satyr. You know, like he knows, like he's got the, even if he's got the Seal of Fate for additional removal, he's going to want to be cautious.
Yeah, I think that right there is an example of when you just play the Crimson Sigil Runner as a 2/1.
Right.
You know,
Yeah.
they didn't develop the weapon, so they don't have a free trade on it. You know, this is just draw a card to deal 2 damage, which is not like you wouldn't slam the opponent's face as a warrior, would you?
No. Now here's the question: like, is this a turn? Like, do you just seal Fate here? And
Yeah,
actually, yeah, that probably makes sense.
Later.
Yeah,
and this way you also hold on to the backstab for some. The backstab is going to be just as valuable, and it's going to cost you less mana. So that probably just makes no sense.
I mean, the backstab here is going to be great, and you can play a 6/6 with it. I think that's fine.
Oh god.
Yeah.
Anyone else feeling a 6/6 Van Cleave incoming?
And I've been complaining for quite a while about Van Cleave, so if there's a backstab,
I'm just making an
this
observation
is
here,
an
Lotus. No, but like, I mean, clearly this is the best turn to play Van Cleef, or am I wrong? Somebody tell me I'm wrong.
I mean, there's never a bad turn to play Van Cleef, but yeah.
I mean, you're right, but there's also some really good turns to play it against Demon Hunter. So
yes,
there's that 6/6 Van Cleef on turn 4.
And we see that there's no Twin Strike, so he's going to have to I-beam Hero Power and go with both into the 6/6 if he wants to do it.
Yeah, that's going to be rough. Oh,
the Flak Mage is also scary, because the Flak Mage can AoE if he has one secret.
And he knows he plays secrets.
Yes. It's Secret Rogue.
Oh boy. I'm sure he's also... Well, you know what? Now at least he knows he can clear this off next turn with the Glaive Bound. So that helps a lot. But it's, you know... Now that's going to be less... That's going to be harder, though, because of his hand. I guess you definitely want to play the shield here.
You do. And I think, pretty sure you want to kill the Battle Fiend, even if it looks awful. Don't think I love it, but that's fine. Could also just see Kane and kill the 6/6.
I grow impatient.
Good answer to the board. And what was going on over there. Okay, can you guys hear me? I think my sound has... Ugh, what's it doing now?
Hide behind your servants. I will still
They will
find
never catch me.
Okay, I am alone right now. Sorry, there was something weird going on. Discord is not loving me today. Let me try changing the server location. Meanwhile, we see this
I would say
match.
take a backstab here, right?
Okay, so now I can.
do you think
We're back
that's
hearing you guys.
the best cleanup? Oh, you can hear us.
Yes.
And then maybe play. I mean, I know like the taunt doesn't really do anything, but I still feel like you should play the shield here, or do you just Kronk?
I think you Kronks because that's guaranteed heal, and
Oh, right.
you can full Galakrond with the praise next turn. So
Yeah.
this is definitely
Right.
an easy
I mean,
call,
I guess
think.
that's the question of will he feel desperate enough to where he needs to get that armor up, because it's, you know, it's uncertain. Because right now, like, he does have the glaive bound, which is great, but I mean, does he want to just use it to push face? I'm not sure.
No, I think you Umberwing, you second slice, you hit the Kronks, and you clear the Kronks.
Okay.
You want to clear
That makes
the
more sense.
Kronks.
Yeah.
Yeah, you are. I want to clear the Kronks. I don't want it to deal 6 damage twice. He's choosing to just go face, though.
He is
go
choosing to go
face.
face.
So
We are going to see a full Galacron right now.
Yeah.
Just with
You know
praise.
the
Wait, are we?
Yeah.
Oh,
praise.
yeah, you're right. I thought that was, yeah. Oh,
yeah,
my.
we're
Yeah,
going
this
to
is
see
going to
the
be...
praise backstab Galacron.
I was going to say, yeah,
Yeah.
you definitely praise the lackey. Oh, man. Mike's got to be feeling happy about this right now.
Yeah. I think he is.
Well, wait, does he... Okay, he's going to Kronks first. Interesting. I thought he might Galakron first, see...
Yeah, I wanted to the Galacron first in case you get a flick or something.
Because, right, exactly. If he gets the flick, then that's extremely relevant. Yes.
Yeah.
We had to say it, didn't we?
I also think, you could have pushed the 11 face.
Yes.
Even if you don't draw the flick.
Right. And I mean, he still clears the board ultimately. And I think this use of flick is fine.
Oh, yeah.
Like,
I think the game is over, but yeah.
Yeah, the game's over.
Himself up for lethal next turn, so that's really the important thing here. Oh, wow.
Yeah,
anybody else convinced it's over?
Yes,
Yeah.
it was over even before getting the Wingardium.
Yeah, I know, but that's just like pouring salt in the wound right there.
You just at this point you're all in. You play all 3 cards. There's nothing you can do.
The problem is he knows that he's done though. He knows that he.
The game ended.
Good match. Mike V is going to take this 3-1.
Mike V wins this one. We have time.
He's probably kicking himself for that one game loss, but you know what? A win's a win.
Yes, we do have time for a short interview. Maybe we can try to get him in.
Yeah, that sounds good to me.
Let's do it.
Let me ask him.
I'll let you take care of it.
Yep.
Nice.
We won't have too much time. It will have to be just a few minutes, but we can ask a few questions, and you guys can ask about particular plays you guys are curious.
It's going to take me a moment to remember everything, but okay.
Let me add him to the call. Meanwhile, just as a reminder to everyone, we will have a pro match right after this. Mike, can you hear us?
Yes, I can.
Hey, how are you doing?
I'm doing great.
Yeah, how did you feel about your match?
I felt great. That was that went, exactly as I hoped it would.
Yeah,
Um, it's tough facing Demon Hunter, 3 times in a match.
it
Um,
is.
yeah.
Yeah. I don't think
Uh,
anybody wants to go through that.
no, but I pulled it out. Winning 3-1 is great.
Yeah,
Um, the Face Hunter match was tough. Rogue versus Face Hunter is a tough matchup. Obviously he blew me out in that match. But there was some really tough matchups there. The Demon Hunter mirror, and then the Dragon Hunter versus Demon Hunter was just back and forth,
right.
and obviously in
Right.
that last match he had me. He almost had me at the end, but luckily I drew Galakron with Kronks, and had that full invoke, and I got some really nice cards off the off of Galakron, so that was it worked out, so it feels good,
Yeah,
Yeah. And I mean, you guys still, despite losing for the week, you guys still had a strong finish. Solid amount of points after that. 13 points. So,
yeah,
Well, yeah,
No.
we would have. I mean, if I had not lost that one match, we would have tied, I believe.
you would
right.
have.
I was
Yeah.
hoping for
So
that, but to be fair, Mike, you did amazing. You know how
yeah,
highly I think of you as a player, so I think you played
Yeah.
really well, and I think AstralFrog played well too. I want to greet him to THL, and I'm sure he's going to have an amazing season.
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
He
You're,
played.
you're associated with based, so that immediately gives you some extra points in our books.
Yes.
Yeah, no, he did. He played amazing. I told him that after the match that he played really well, and yeah, I didn't take him lightly at all. You know what I mean? I thought
No.
I went into that match. I had a rough 2 matches yesterday, and
Yeah.
I went into this match, thinking like, I took it really seriously, so
Yeah,
um, I think he'll do great.
I agree.
I think both of these teams are on to have some pretty solid seasons in the way things are shaping up. So, yeah, Red's going to be tight, very tight this season.
Yeah.
So, I guess everybody needs to brace themselves for that intense competition.
I think
Yeah.
so. Do you guys have any particular questions you want to ask? Based any question you want to ask about this match?
No. My only real question was like prioritizing the draw when you did Astral Sight over the tempo play you had. I think you could have played just Kane
Yeah.
and pushed your board advantage and said I'll outcast this later. What
Right.
was the thinking there?
I don't even. I'm trying to think when I did that.
It was only like 30 turns ago.
We only really like questioned it because if you had played the cane that turn, you could have played the skull next turn. Like you would have been able to
Right.
outcast that, so it would have
Oh.
been like a great setup for you.
I do
I
remember that. Yeah, and I did regret that because I was thinking after I played Spectral Sight, I was like, I'm putting all these cards in the way, and then I have Kane between Skull and Outcast, and I didn't even get to play the Skull. So I was like,
Right.
it's one of those things you do in the moment, and you think, I'm gonna have more cards, I'm gonna have more options in the moment, but then I just put myself in a jam.
Right.
And luckily, you end up winning the match anyways, so it doesn't be one of these things I kick myself about.
Right.
But yeah, it could have been, could have
Yeah.
easily been something I would have regretted.
Right.
Yeah,
It's like the only game you lost. It was like there just wasn't really much you could do. Like you had the right strategy.
That game
It
was
really just came down to him having an immediate answer to the Hanar,
pretty much.
and then
yeah,
having all this other damage in his hand that he was able to really capitalize on. So you really did what you could. Just Face Hunter does face shenanigans. I don't know.
Yeah, and I thought maybe if I played the the counter spell a turn earlier, then he wouldn't have been able to play Scrap Shot, and then
Right.
but then he would have been able to play Kill Command, so it wouldn't have mattered. You know, it's like
I think the problem is, like, on one hand, that's a good mindset, but the problem with counterspell, especially in that matchup, is that, like, they do have cheap spells they could play, so you don't necessarily know how much value you're getting off of a 3-mana spell like that.
I don't
And
think
at the
any of the
time-
others would have answered, though.
yeah. And at the time, I didn't know it was Face Hunter 100% because it was only turn 2
Right.
or turn 3, so I didn't actually know it was Face Hunter when I played Tanar. I don't think. Because he played Toxic Reinforcements at that point, I think. So maybe I did. But either way, it was like Redemption, Counterspell, and I'm trying to think what the third was, but nothing that was like super appetizing. So I thought if I
Right.
can stop taking 5 to the face, that might help.
I think it was Pressure Plate.
Pressure Plate, yeah.
Pressure Plate, yeah. Pressure Plate wasn't going to do me anything.
I think the best thing you were probably looking for, weirdly enough, would have been like Noble Sacrifice.
Ice Barrier.
Yeah, exactly.
Ice Barrier would have been great, yeah.
But as far as like cheap spells, yeah, Ice Barrier would have been great. But like a 1-mana, hey, I'm going to deflect 3 of this damage that he's dealing at me,
Right.
Yeah, Noble Sacrifice would have been great, yeah.
But hey,
Rogue,
I mean, at the end of the day, you got the win. I mean,
true.
Yeah,
it's got to
definitely.
feel good. You were saying to me like how much you really wanted to redeem yourself after yesterday's matches, and I think you certainly did.
Yeah.
And I mean,
and then
now
my
all
hero
you got to
match.
do left is win your hero match for me. Can you do that, pretty please?
Yep, tonight at 8 o'clock, I have my hero match, and I'm excited for that. And
I mean, at the very least, the
Yeah.
pressure's off you since we already won. But I mean,
hey,
I know I know both of us still want you to win.
Yeah, there's no reason to get more points. There's no reason not to get more points. You know what I
Exactly.
mean?
Do it.
So that's the goal there. And yeah, I'm really happy this turned out the way it did.
Good.
And
Yeah.
shout outs to AstralFrog for playing so well. So
Yeah. Well, thank you, Mike. We'll continue our transmission because we do have a second match. And I think this is a good point to take a look at the decks for this second match.
Let's do it.
Yeah. And thank you for joining us, Mike.
Yeah, thank you guys. Take care.
You
Take
too, buddy.
care. So
Okay.
here are the decks. I sent you guys on Discord in case you're looking for them. So lilhearthie brought the Galakron non-secret rogue. We have just classic Demon Hunter, Tempo Demon Hunter. We have Gala Priest and the Egg Warrior. Versus Mayanadon has the Demon Rogue, Highlander Hunter, the
Wait,
Secret.
Did you say Demon Rogue?
No, I mean Gala Rogue.
I was gonna say, like, Lotus, you don't lose it on me now.
Not yet. We are seeing the Gala Rogue and the Secret Gala Rogue for Mayan with the Highlander Hunter and the Egg
Right.
Warrior. I think it's an
Yeah,
interesting
these are
choice.
some interesting lines.
Yeah.
So I'm curious, Lotus, what are your thoughts on Priest right now in the current meta?
So Priest is a weird one. I think Gala Priest is better than people are giving it credit to, but I
Agreed.
also believe it is not refined yet. It's hard to say what is the correct list, and this was the beginning of the week, where this week there was already significant amount of change for the deck. The list is very flexible. It seems like there are many different lists going, and no one really knows what's good. Some people say it crushes Rogue. Some people say it's awful against Rogue. I don't know.
Yeah.
Do you have any impression on it, Based?
I've actually. Oh, sorry.
Yeah, no.
I didn't realize Base was back. Sorry.
Yeah. So I think Rogue just shreds the deck. It's Priest's really, really bad matchups are Rogue and Mage, because those are the two ultimate late game engines. Like, you just can't outvalue those decks. Even with Galakron Priest generating those Priest minions, like, it's just, Rogue is doing it cheaper and it's getting dragons for its minions to play, which are, on par better, and they're discovering them. And they're discovering spells, and they're, playing all sorts of cheap stuff. So like they just shred, and you can be as greedy as you want, where the Priest can't even match trying to be as greedy.
Yeah. I think my experience has been that I think Galakrond Priest is pretty good, but I think part of the problem is that its weakest matchups are among them. Like looking at, say, Mayanadon's lineup, Priest doesn't really do well against any of this but Warrior, at least from my experience. It can do well, but you'll notice it's pretty unfavored a lot of the time, because like I was really frustrated when I would test Galakrond Priest against Demon Hunter, and despite all of the heal and removal at my disposal, I'd still get overrun.
That's true.
Like, I don't know what the problem is, frankly. I really think you're right in saying it's just not refined yet, but it might also just be that, like, despite all of its efforts, the meta is in a place where the aggressive decks have too many different ways of gaining tempo to, really make things work for you in the end. And yeah, I hate to say, I kind of agree. I think it's still worth bringing, but I've been very reluctant to bring it in Conquest, because I mean, like, if people are bringing like lineups like this often, like what Mayanadon brought, then I'd be very nervous. And my first thought would be, I am saving this deck for last.
Yeah, because the issue is your lineup also doesn't target the warrior. You could go with a lineup that says, I'm going to just hunt your egg warrior with priest and mage and Gala warlock, but it doesn't seem like that's the case here. And
right. On top of that, you could even make the argument that lilhearthie is going to ban warrior off of Mayanadon.
Well, we know the ban. So lilhearthie banned the hunter, while Mayanadon banned the warrior.
Sorry, yeah, I forgot the bans were already revealed. Yeah, so I mean, at least banning the hunter is, I think, the smart move, because that's probably the deck that's going to give Priest the most trouble. It also means lilhearthie's rogue will probably fare a bit better. Same with warrior. So actually, yeah, that probably does make the most sense.
I think so.
I'd still be worried about the priest, because it just does feel like, outside of the warrior, any matchup with that deck is going to be a pretty uphill battle.
Yeah, well, let's take a look at what's going to happen. I believe they're getting started really soon.
Yeah. Do we want to go ahead and give them the okay? Because I know that they were waiting for us.
Yeah, I just sent them the okay.
Okay, cool.
All right. So also, since we haven't mentioned this yet, currently the score of this match is 9 in favor of Everyday Week Triflin, and then 5 for the Beard Boys. So there are still 2 matches left, regardless of the outcome of the. Now, if lilhearthie wins this match, Everyday Week Triflin will win for the week.
Right.
And then if Mayanadon wins by pretty much any margin, like even if he wins 3-2, it's still obviously going to be like a, come down to the very last match between Inzi and Sanguine. And I would love to. I'm very interested in seeing how Sanguine holds her own in Pro this season, because she proved in Legacy that last season that she has some really strong. So I'm wondering how that will translate into Pro, because she definitely seems like she's got a good team backing her up.
Right.
Yeah, I think Everyday Week Triflin is going to be a very, very strong team. lilhearthie, your mom kid, PWE, Jimmy Eat Shoes is new, but I actually played him in a qualifier, and I didn't know it was him, and very strong player. Yeah, so I think that, that and Sanguine is definitely going to be able to hold her own in Pro. I have no doubt about that.
Oh, sure. I mean, it's not about holding her own. It's more of just like, Pro can be really hard to get like a really solid record in. So it's like that's more of where I'm coming at it from.
Right. We do begin the match, though. We are going to see the Rogue versus the Priest. That matchup where different people say different things. So we're going to have a first-hand experience of it.
Yes, we are.
Yeah.
Now, Mayanadon, I imagine, is probably going to want to. I'm wondering, like, what do you mull here?
He's going to full mull.
As is lilhearthie, what do you know?
Yeah.
Maybe lilhearthie also feels a little bit more optimistic playing the sticky finger.
Maybe.
Either way, this is a great start with the Disciple of Galakrond to invoke Galakrond once, and he does have the Galakrond in hand, so that's another plus.
Yeah, there's also a Lazul. We see that the Priest is going to have an early Lazul into what looks like a really good hand for the Rogue.
Yeah. My only question is, like, maybe aside from the Seal Fate, what do you really want from that hand?
Kronks.
Oh, it's Flick as
yeah,
well.
that's
Yeah,
Flick
I'll
is
take-
also really good. I would take anything,
No, I
honestly.
mean, it's like, I think Kronks is good, but as is Flick. But at the same time, I'm thinking like, you know, those are also more expensive cards, and you're not going to want to play Kronks until you've gotten,
Oh, it's
excuse me,
fine.
more Invoke cards.
It's fine.
Yeah, I will take that.
Hmm.
I'll,
I guess maybe play the Psychic Conjurer.
Yeah, I think you probably just play the Conjurer. You might consider
Yeah.
renewing just to spend the mana, but I think you're fine. I think you're happy to get some health out of it. Oh, now you'll take everything off of that Lazul.
Wow, that's pretty good.
So he
Wow,
doesn't want the
Mayanadon
lackey.
real. Oh, okay. I was like, did he just steal Fate the 1/1 for a second?
No, that would
No, he did
that
not.
wouldn't be really strong.
No, it would not.
It would not be a rogue play.
The future is clear. Your demise be near.
So there's a
This
question
is
of whether you
very-
go for Flick or Kronks.
I do think there's an argument for Kobold because you don't play a lot of cheap removal. Like there's no one cost removal, and it's a nice
That is
little
true. That's true.
Yeah.
bump. You can really take any of these, and I think make a great case for all of them. But I think Kronks is the probably safest bet.
Yeah. Lackey is a really good answer to Lazul, though.
Yes, it is. Oh wow, there's the Fate Weaver. That's
Yeah.
pretty good.
Fate Weaver became a powerful card after being paired with the worst Galakrond for quite a while. It seems like it's playable now.
Right. I guess you take the Holy Smite here, right, for that like easy removal.
Could also go for Mind Vision and try to get another Kronks or Flick. You know they have both in hand.
Yeah. But I kind of also agree with what Base was saying before. You don't really have a lot of like cheap removal, so maybe okay, yeah, going for the Mind Visions then.
I think it.
Oh, that's pretty good though.
Yeah, you're not upset about that.
No.
No. If anything, you're kind of happy because that's probably like what you would want more than the other options. But now, if he was planning to play the Dirty Tricks this turn, he's now going to hold off on that.
Yeah, I don't think you do because you're going to burn a card.
Right.
Yeah.
If it goes off.
True. Yeah.
So we're likely to see
I
just
think
the
this is just a
here.
Shield Galakron turn.
Yeah.
I think you could argue playing Faceless for more tempo, but I think Shield is probably fine.
Shield makes a very high chance that Togwaggle works next turn, which would be insane.
Drawing Togwaggle's pretty big here because you know he's going to be able to play it, if not next turn after.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Guaranteed now. And there's the Apotheosis. That's going to be good down the road.
Yeah.
But, what do you do about this board? Is the question.
So, doesn't really have a great way to deal with it right now.
No.
I don't think there's any
Like,
way
I'm
you can
wondering,
kill it.
what do you save the Blackjack Stunner for with the Dirty Tricks? Like, what would you want to clear with that?
You could do it with a shield. It's not the worst choice.
Yeah.
I don't mind hitting a shield. There's not like a lot of stuff, but Rogue really values playing high value for the mana cost. So like, pretty much whatever you stun, they're very unlikely to want to play again.
Yeah.
Because they'll always have cheaper, better plays.
Other than
like Togwaggle, Kronks, Flick, just because they are so overpowered anyways. Looks
Exactly.
like going to just clear off the lackey. Yeah.
I get that
Just
play.
the nod.
I don't love it. It's this turn.
Yeah.
Feels bad, but the other option is let them get the Tog.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which Mayanadon's going to get, but gonna have to wait another turn.
Right. And it's
Also
naturally
going
the
to be
sort
an
of thing you're going to be thinking about, like, okay, turn 6 is coming up. The last thing I want is for them to be able to play the Tog.
Right.
But you figure even if I'm delaying it by a turn, that's pretty good. Ooh. The Sapper. That could play out in interesting ways. And there is the second Invoke for Lilhearthie.
Kind of like the idea of just going coin Galakron, so next turn you can Kronks and have it go back to your hand.
Ooh.
Yeah. Really heads up play.
Yeah.
I think it also answers the possible Tog coming down pretty cleanly.
Yeah. It just, you get your Kronks back. You're going to keep bouncing Kronks as many times as you need this match.
Yeah, I do actually really like that. Like, you know, it's going to take a while for you to fully invoke, and so might as well just set up your Kronks, because Kronks is so powerful. And then you can even use your whole mana heal up this turn and get the Kronks. But looks like he's going to be looking for some removal options.
Yeah. Shadow Madness can definitely do.
Yeah.
Don't let the door hit you.
Okay. I think I really like the Kronks play.
Yeah, I like the
setup.
Kronks play.
Yeah, I didn't even think about that, but I'm sure Lilhearthie didn't notice that either. That was like kind of a very, you know, that was pretty subtle, I would.
I think like it's not even just the bouncing the Kronks, it's just how powerful it is to set up that 6/6. Yeah, get the Kronks already.
Right.
I think was the real concern that you had. But if it didn't bounce, like say your Galakron hit the Sapper, like, oh well, you know, I still would like to clear whatever they decide to play. The other thing is this Dirty Tricks could go off and burn a card.
Right.
I don't think there's anything that's so valuable that you can't burn, but you're still just, you know, losing value.
You're cautious about it, yeah.
Yeah, it's not going to, because we got the Tog, but Xerx's Crown? So
interesting choice.
I don't believe that Hearthie is playing the Plague of Death at all.
I think one copy.
One copy, which
yes, one copy
is actually for this matchup. But
Druid, but yeah.
And Druid,
yeah. Okay, so this is a tough board that that Lilhearthie has to deal with right now.
I think it's the price of missing that setup play.
Yeah, I think though. Yeah, I think that's the thing though. He was probably hoping he could find some more like key removal at that point instead of needing to rely on that. Because the problem was, even if he did play the Galakron, it still would have only cleared one thing. And he's probably thinking about is, well, man, I want to be able to evolve this thing fully before I play it. And the Kronks play like didn't even cross his mind.
Yeah, I think that's one of the issues with the Galakron is the reluctance to play it for one, and to, like, honestly, Kronks is a more powerful effect than Galakron's Battlecry for Priest. So, like, setting that up is very important. But it looks like you're going to go now and just have to do it a turn late. But I think Hearthie has recognized that gotta get that Kronks online.
Yes.
Pretty much. Oh, I mean, there was only a 40% chance that was going to hit something really valuable, but it's fine. The truth is, the most important thing is having the Kronks ready for next turn. But I mean, we'll have to see what he's going to do. Okay, looks like another shield.
I like just going slow. Your board is valuable enough.
Ooh, Nas.
Okay. Oh my god.
That's a fun one. The
That's,
Shadow Word Ruin's going to be big for this, but
yeah, that's the thing. You're going to want to hold off on the Kronk's turn for sure now.
Yeah, we do see the Ruin followed by the Nova as a really good way to clear.
Yeah, the
Yep.
Ruin is going to be... It's going to clear off half of this board, and then you could use the Nova to clear off most of it and leave the 4/4, which is actually pretty good, just because you can keep that up. You can keep that up, and then still do the Kronk's play that Lotus suggested, where it would bounce back to the hand and it would work out nicely.
But at this point, do you really have the time to not have a 6 drop or like a 6/6 on board? Like, do you have the time to just let Rogue freely develop again?
There are cards that could be lethal at any moment.
I mean, that's the thing. The only thing that really stands as far as that Mayanadon really has as far as like immediate burst and damage would be Galakrond. Everything else is still going to take time.
Oh, does he run Evisces?
There's no Eviscerate. There's 2 Eviscerate.
Are there?
Hearthies, but one Eviscerate in Mayanadon.
Right.
Okay. We are also going to see the Christmas tree coming up.
Yes.
That's your name for it now?
I mean, it has to be.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Oh, wait, no. This won't be affected by Counterspell. He's good.
Redemption's also really good here.
Yes.
Oh, God, that's going to be a problem. Because now he won't be able to clear the board and... well, I guess, no, wait. The Sapper would be the thing that's revived by the Redemption. Right? Because that was the first thing he played on the board?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
That's still a 4/1.
Which is good
4/1.
bad. Yeah.
It is the worst one to leave up, I think.
Yeah. No, because now he won't be able to clear both and clear the revived
he'll
minion,
have
so
to
that's a
do
problem.
also a breath.
Yeah, but the counterspell.
Then there's
takes care of that.
counterspell, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you do keep the 2/1, even if the breath was to go off, because the ambush will trigger after Kronk's battle cry. But this is...
Oof. I mean, the flick is nice, but it doesn't even do much here.
No?
You still take it for later turns. I think you're committed to Kronk's here.
He has to.
We also see that this is lethal. Mayanadon has lethal right now.
How?
Oh, no, wait, never mind. The Kronks can go face. I forgot about that. I thought he had fully... I thought he had played Galakrond.
He does not have a Galakrond up.
No,
Damn it,
it's not
Lotus!
lethal, but it's super close.
Yeah, and the Kronks will get sent back to hand, but yeah, that's going to be at least 5 more damage next turn, and that is going to create a problem for lilhearthie.
Yeah.
As he's going to find out right now. And the worst part of it is that counterspell's still up, and it's not going to be easy to get rid of it.
No, I'm expecting to see a shield or even a Kronks here, just saying I have my Galakrond next turn, and there's nothing you can do to stop it.
I do just like the shield. It's not finishing the game.
Right.
I think you're gonna buff your shield to Galakrond here.
Yeah, because he knows he's got the Kronks now. Wait, what?
Choosing not to.
I'm wondering if Mayanadon just forgot that he has the Kronks in hand. This is interesting.
Pretty easy clear
I mean,
for Kronks.
You still don't get to develop anything off the Kronks, so you probably are gonna.
But it's not the worst thing ever either. That's the thing.
Have it back in hand. No, but yeah, I think you go Kronks into Fate Weaver.
You can also just throw away your Thought Steal at this point because it's not going to matter. Just use it to proc the counterspell.
Yeah, something I noticed really interesting about Hearthie's list is the Psychic Conjurer over Moarg, Artificer. Like, you don't have the combo pieces to make your
I think Moarg is becoming less prominent in Galakrond Priest now.
I don't see why. I think that it's just
really
correct. Yeah.
Your deck, as much as it is Priest, it really doesn't have the ideal...
Right.
It doesn't have the ideal type of healing there.
So Hearthie's definitely going to... Right, so Hearthie's definitely just going to want to play the Kronks either way, right? There's no secret here that makes that a bad play.
The ambush is not ideal.
but it's not
Um,
ambush. So I guess that's the only thing he's really worried about.
Yeah. Choosing
And
to
now-
heal up.
Which is not going to heal up anything, sadly.
Yeah.
No.
I think that that's still fine.
It's still
You
fine for now.
Try and set it up to heal later.
This is going to be, though, a shield into Miscreant, it looks like.
It certainly
Yeah.
looks like it, unless you get a very good lackey, which I don't think you did.
No. I do think there's an argument for Lackey just so you can hero power the face.
So
Right.
we're seeing another
There's the other
Kronks?
Kronks.
So we're going to see one more Kronks. Run it back one more time. I think you go Kronks and you Fate Weaver. You need a board. You can get something to stick so you can apotheosis.
Yeah, I mean, I know he'd love to be able to wait a turn to invoke again before playing the Fate Weaver, but this is just kind of the desperate spot you're in right now.
Yeah, you need tempo. The other option is to flick and Fate Weaver. You leave up the 1/4, which is terrifying because that opens Goblin Lackeys helping get the kill.
Yeah, but he knows, like, wait, what? Oh, I see.
If this gets stuttered, you're
So
dead.
he knows there's the stunner in hand.
Yeah, that's
he
gonna
did.
be game.
He did see it. Yeah.
He did see it.
He forgot
This is
about
just a
that.
misplay.
Oh no, yeah. I
Well,
think he
the
just.
stunner
I think he
is-
should have. Well, also the flick would have dealt with it too, which he saw, so it doesn't really matter either way. But but regardless,
Well, the
Mayanadon
flick
is
wasn't
going to take
be
game
great.
one.
The flick would also kill the own shield.
Yeah.
But yes.
Remove your own shield so you don't have the lethal.
Oh,
But-
you're right. I'm an idiot. Oh no.
So there is a
But
win for the
at
rogue.
the same time, though, even if that wouldn't have been lethal, the flick would have been a fine play, just as far as now he can't lifesteal anymore.
Right.
Sure.
I can understand that, but it's not lethal as you would want, unfortunately.
Yeah.
So the rogue does get a win for Mayanadon. So it sounds like what we expected for the priest. As much
Unfortunately.
as some pros are saying the Gala priest is favored in rogue.
That I really disagree when pros say things like that because
Yes.
that's just their. Oh, I understand the matchup. I can find the win, which is different from its favored.
So we'll see now the Demon Hunter facing the priest. Which is not a good matchup. It's not what you wanted to see.
I think you're still favored as the Demon Hunter.
I agree. Oh, I mean, it's not what you wanted to see as a priest.
Yeah. You just, again, the inevitability of the damage will kill the priest. You have the time to slow roll and set up giant altruist turns to end the game.
Pretty much. You
And
don't need
there's
to
that
worry.
altruist.
Yeah, you probably don't want it in your open, but like, you want to see your skulls of Gul'dan's here, where you skull Gul'dan, you play nothing. You just keep biding your time.
Now, the Sethic Veil Weaver is actually a card that I'm really surprised not to see in lilhearthie's list, because I think this card is very underrated right now. And I know that this is something a lot of the pros have been talking about as far as a really solid addition, because I mean, this has a lot of ways to just generate advantage for you. And it's pretty nuts when you can say have Fate Weaver, lower the cost of both the Sethics in your hand to 1, and then just go crazy.
Yeah, but you already have insane value. It's
have enough
so
value.
greedy.
I think
Is really the
it's
issue.
bad. I agree.
I think
with
it's debatable.
It's a strong card, but your value engines that don't rely on other cards are better right now. You're fine generating this. Like the issue is right now, Galakron Priest has to find that line of how greedy can I be, and how much can I play for value, like tempo. Because right now it's looking at Hearthie's list, it's very greedy. There's not there's ways to generate tons of stuff in your hand, but not as many ways to deal with boards. And I think that Sethic is in a tight list that really needs to address board a little bit better than it's been doing. I think Sethic will definitely have its time because that card is insane, but I think it needs to be in something that plays for board a bit better.
Yeah.
Wait, what?
Trying to outcast the I don't know.
Was he really
I
just
think
gonna play? Was he gonna play Breath on an empty board? The heck?
I'm not sure why. I think always thought steal.
Yeah, you
I
always thought seal. You
I
always
think
want a bigger hand.
the game plan
Never
is
not
to,
thought steal.
hey, what is this card that I just bounced over?
I can
What
see
else
Oh
am I
my
considering?
god.
Like, I like Mayanadon. So you only really metagame like that when you know your opponent is going to be looking at that. And Mayanadon is certainly going, oh, what's that card that you've moused over?
Yeah.
The mind games.
And
Like, that
Lilhearthie
is-
does keep going over Breath of the Infinite just despite Mayanadon.
Yeah, like it's
Yikes.
definitely very valid to say, hey, what is this card?
Yeah.
It's
Mm.
you make it look like it's a playable minion, maybe that you were considering playing for tempo. Maybe it's the Lazul. It's something I think that's often overlooked,
Right.
and how often that is actually can be relevant.
See, this is, I feel like,
We are all bound.
this is the sort of thing where I feel like kind of emphasizes the biggest problems with Priest, where it's like you kind of need some turns before you really get going, because some cards can really work well on their own, but the main combos involving like Fate Weaver, Galakrond, like you need to have several invokes, and sometimes you just don't get them very early. And like, especially like in this version, like you have your main invokes you only have 6. You've got the Disciple, the time warp, is that what it's called? Sorry, what's that
Time
thing
Rip.
called? Time Rip, thank
Time
you.
Rip.
And then the Shield of Galakrond. And 2 of those 3 outlets cost 5 mana.
Okay.
So that can make things a bit awkward, even though they're useful cards in their own right.
Yeah, I think that's you hit the nail on the head there. Like, they're useful cards in their own right. Fate Weaver is still a 4 mana 3/6,
Right.
which is
Yeah.
fine,
Pretty good.
but I think that that's something a lot of people do is they go, oh, I can't play this before it's doubly invoked, but Lilhearthie recognizing I need tempo. This hand just answers. I need to try and help aid that answer and put Mayanadon a little bit more on his back feet here.
Feels bad, man, to draw the Disciple the turn after you played your Fate Weaver.
You still ate up 2 charges of that
it was
weapon.
still
and
worthwhile, but that still
damage.
does feel bad. You can't deny that.
Well, you can generate something
I,
good.
Yeah.
If he gets a
It's
Fate
not-
Weaver off the Disciple, though, that would be amazing right now.
Blood be born.
So if they fix the random generation to generate Galakrond cards again
I don't think
for
it
the rest
has.
of it,
I don't think it
I
has.
don't think that. I think that wasn't the thing with
so
that
they
was a
had
different issue.
No, they had undone it so that if you had Galakrond in your deck, your discovers and your generations could generate Galakrond related cards, and then they removed it because it ended up making it generate for everyone instead.
Oh right.
Yeah.
So I
I'm not
was
sure
just
then. That's a good question.
Also, Rogue really likes that.
yes.
So,
Rogue is the biggest.
Do you
benefit
Shadow
here.
or Death here, or do you save that for the Priestess?
You start with a renew, I think.
Right.
And then we can kind of address from there.
That's fair.
You have Penance Breath to clear.
That's also a possibility, sure. But you could argue you'd rather use the breath now and save like the breath, and use the death now and save the breath for something like the Satyr turn that's clearly coming. Ooh. I guess though probably the best thing is take the Holy Ripple and then combine that with the Penance.
That is an option. I think Plague of Death is too slow for this matchup.
Yeah, you can't rely on that.
No, typically it doesn't matter because at that point where you can play it, it's just either they have lethal or you're at enough of a range that they're not killing you anymore.
Having it's not going to win you games, and most of the time you have other removal that'll do the job just as effectively for less mana.
Yeah, I think that
Okay, so he's gonna.
Yeah.
I mean,
you have Shadow Madness for the Satyr turn.
for the Satyr, that is
you
true. That is very true. Still not, it's not great.
Yeah.
I do at least like the fact that he's getting closer to being able to cast the skull with the Outcast, so that's pretty nice.
Yeah, I think that's actually going to be really big when that comes down. But
Yes, but it's still in a while.
yeah,
That skull pickup
But
is
the fact
also
that he
really
really makes
big.
them that he can play that for outcast could be very game changing.
yes.
Yeah.
We're with you.
Thing is, Mayanadon is going to do whatever he can to play the skull as fast as possible. So
Of course.
Yeah.
So first he's going to play the Psychic Conjurer. See what he can get off that.
Don't keep your thoughts to yourself.
okay.
Ooh,
Pretty good one.
that's
pretty
pretty
good.
good. I mean, it would be. He's probably like wishing he could play that right now, but I think being able to play that next turn is going to be pretty nice.
Yeah.
I would say so, yeah. It depends on what Mayanadon can do. And he does get to play the Skull of Gul'dan. Is he not going for it?
I guess he's
Huh.
not.
I'm not sure how I feel about the Altruist right here.
Yeah.
I don't know that I
So-
love this play.
Pretty low value Altruist, especially
Yeah.
you have the skull ready to set up bigger Altruist turns later.
Right.
Yeah.
Just want Fruit to get the socks out of the basket. Fruit, come on. Fruit, no.
We could see a time rip here just to end the Altruist. We could also see
Yeah,
the risky
just to like
play.
guarantee.
The risky play will lose you the game a big fraction of times.
I mean,
but
it's 6 missiles. Each of them has a 1 in 3 chance of hitting the Altruist, and technically more if it clears off the Battle Mage in that time. But yeah, I can
Right.
also understand just wanting to clear just for the guarantee.
I don't
Yeah,
think you're
Mhm.
at the point where you need to take the risk.
You don't
No,
take the risk.
you're not. Even with the skull in hand, I don't think it's worth it.
No.
But I can't help but think to myself, man, I feel really good about lilhearthie's chances about clearing the Altruist with that.
Yeah, but you don't clear it, and that's very much game losing.
True. Yeah. What's also really cool about this, though, is that the Lazul, if he can get one of those I-beams, that will be really good.
His weakness.
Yeah, you really want those IVs.
That'll be something really nice.
The Sightless Watcher is also pretty good because it can guarantee
Yeah.
you a Priest of the Fury a lot of times.
Ooh. I mean, you got to put the Priestess on there, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, even if you're going to skull next turn, that just seems like the best play.
I don't know if you skull next turn, especially with the Priestess put on top.
That's true. No, of course, but
Oh, you
just
know
a
that.
thought.
You know Van Luzon.
Oh, that's pretty nice.
You discover a card first, and then you Nova. I think you do take an I-beam here. I don't think you care about skull
No.
again.
No,
He's
you
got
already
a
have
skull
one.
in hand. You definitely don't need both in that. But here's the thing that's weird about this, which is that because he's only seeing the 2 cards, he can't tell which of the cards is a 2 of in Mayanadon's hand, I believe,
That is
right?
true.
No, yeah, you can't.
Oh, he's got a skull.
He does
That
take
is
the
some
skull.
serious
Interesting.
value.
I mean, he's still Holy Novas, so he's doing the right play, but I really thought, like, I don't think you need 2 skulls here, do you?
I don't think so. They could just Fury I-beam.
Choosing to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
that's the way to go. The death is going to be great. And I mean, like, that's the thing. Hearthie's going to go down to 19, but that's not a bad life total right now.
No, but he can
Yeah.
also skull right now.
Right, I was
You
going to
can-
say. Oh, wow, that's going to be... Actually, I
Also
think you
Fate
Weaver
Weaver skull.
first? Yeah,
I-
you should
I-
Fate Weaver.
No, I think you Shadow Word Death and Priestess. I'd
you
rather
want
develop a
Priestess.
Priestess.
I kind of
I'd
like
rather
it as
develop a
well.
Priestess here.
Well, you can do both. I mean, you're still getting enough value off the Fate Weaver right now. And
Yeah,
you're
but-
developing more.
It's just the quality
like-
of the minion. Was better.
Yeah, the tempo is better if you put down the Priestess, and like the Priestess is just putting them down to 17 and really hard to deal with for the oh man, this Priestess Apotheosis is gonna be disgusting.
combo.
Oh my god. See, I'm just going to say this now. I would love to have more games with Priest against Demon Hunter like this.
Yeah.
Because I don't see a scenario where Mayanadon comes back from this.
Oh, never say that
I
about the
do.
Demon Hunter.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's a Pyroblast in hand right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I'm saying this because of the Apotheosis, though.
Yeah.
That's a
It
zero
really
cost
helps.
hypothesis.
Yeah, it's a real big pickup. You know, the Priestess of Fury was big,
Like,
but like
I don't
you
see. Sorry, continue.
if you don't have that combo, like if you don't have this apotheosis, this game is over in 2 turns.
Right.
But
Oh, and the Galakron.
yeah, I don't think that
This-
Galakron's gonna come up because this is a taunt. It's clear the board, heal for
No,
6.
but you might as well. You can put some damage on and play the Apotheosis. I don't see why you wouldn't do both here, because now it's a
Yeah.
fully evolved Galakron.
Yeah, but I don't think you need to play the Galakron here. It's just in your back pocket to end the game next turn.
Well, at the very least, I hope he does plan to play the Apotheosis on the Fate Weaver, just because you got to gain the life. You got to do something.
You gain more life putting it on the Priestess.
Well, I mean,
Because it deals
technical-
6. It deals 6, which is.
But I think it's
5.
good to have like. But I think at the same time, having 2 threatening minions like that is probably going to be better.
Yeah. There's no way for him to deal with 2 boards or like anything, just because there's no altruist, so nothing really gets through this board.
True. And yep, that's a. Yeah. lilhearthie's patience really paid off here. This was a very, very much of a grind going through, but I mean, oh, yeah, without that Apotheosis, I think lilhearthie would have been doomed, but, well, okay, maybe not necessarily, just because that taunt is still a pretty big issue, but, yeah.
Yeah, with the taunt, it was big, but, if this was a Kane, that is 12 damage going face, which is just enough to kill through the, if one of these cards was Kane and with the Glaive-bound Adept. So there's ways that the damage still gets through, but yeah, the Apotheosis ends the game.
And lilhearthie takes it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. When you have a 5/9 with lifesteal, Demon Hunter's not going to have a good way of dealing with it. So.
Yeah, very likely, yes. So now I do very much expect the Warrior to come out from Mayanadon. It is the favor in both of the matchups.
Agreed. But it also does feel like that lilhearthie it's probably definitely a big deal for lilhearthie to get that priest win out of the way.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's a very easy lineup at that point.
Right, but I mean, at the same time, it's good that he managed to get the win now rather than like letting Mayanadon get like more free wins off of other decks.
Yes, yeah.
Like I bring it up because I feel like the other decks that lilhearthie has are more likely to will have probably better overall chances of winning in general.
I think that if that Demon Hunter gets through, then now your Rogue and Demon Hunter must beat the Warrior.
Right.
Which is a very, very tall order. So I think that winning that specific matchup was really important.
Right. Mm-hmm. Plus, even if lilhearthie knew that he could have beaten the Warrior with the Priest, I don't think he still wanted to be in a situation where he'd have to reverse sweep.
Right.
No.
We do see 3 mana 1/10 over there with Rampage and Bloodsworn.
But I
ideal.
Really am hesitant to keep that. I think Corsair Cash is enough. Maybe keep a Warmaul, but the whole keep here seems.
I mean, personally, from my experience, I think it's a good keep just for the fact that the Warmaul Challenger is really good against Rogue, especially early on.
Yeah,
Right.
So having that combo in hand is a bit like risky, but at the same time, Rogue's not going to have an easy way of dealing with that minion before you have the chance to do your Rampage Mercenary combo. So I think it works out fine.
Yeah, especially it's going to be a 1/8 likely when it comes down.
Right.
Also, he does get the unplayable Reborn card.
Well, I guess
Yeah.
not if you're a Grandmaster. Or I saw No Hands play this against Dragon Rider on curve.
Oh yeah, that's
I
right.
think, which was quite impressive to see that heads-up play from No Hands.
Yeah.
Huh.
It's an interesting card.
Yeah, it
If
was
you
against.
have the Evolve Lackey, you can still make good use out of it.
Yes, or if you have 2 Rush Lackeys, it's a double Fireball.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It only deals damage to minions, but still.
Yes.
It's not great.
No. There are still many minions you would rather have
Right.
over it.
Chooses
But Mayanadon
not
is just
to
going to play the
coin.
Corsair Cache.
No,
I don't see a reason to. You have the Corsair Cache. There's really no reason to.
Yeah, you also probably want to go Warmaul, Coin, Rampage, Bloodsworn.
Right. I think what's probably going to be the play is go for the Warmaul next turn, unless lilhearthie plays something that is gonna play like a minion that you're really gonna want to clear with the weapon.
Right.
But either way, he opens himself up to some solid options. So I mean, I think the play here is just seal Fate the Face.
Yeah.
Yeah, you didn't go face last turn, so you could have that option and to not activate Battle Rage immediately. But
Yeah.
you're gonna activate Battle Rage eventually.
Exactly.
So.
And it's also you find in this matchup, it's not always easy to have something that's good to a good target for the Seal Fate because of how often they have damaged minions.
Yeah.
Right. We also see something interesting that since lilhearthie is not playing the secret list, there's no free on-demand freezing to the
There's-
Rampage
Right.
Bloodsword.
He is running double sap though. So
He
there's
is.
the standard.
Yeah, he's playing much more like just traditional Galakron list. But
Right.
it's interesting because like I'm like kind of surprised I didn't decide to go kind of a similar way to like what Bloody Face did 1 week, which was bring like a standard list, but he had like 2 questing adventure and 1 Umbral Stalker. Like it just gives you like it kind of just makes up for the lack of burst that you have through some of the other cards, or the lack of utility. But now he does actually have a secret in the form of Dirty Trick, so that's pretty funny.
And it's also
And
a really good
Mayanadon won't
secret.
have any idea what it is because he knows he doesn't play any secrets.
But he knows it comes from Ethereal.
Right. Well, that too.
Yeah. I think as long as it's not ambush, you're not really worried about it.
But now he got that rampage, that rampage mercenary turn, and that's the thing that's really important about this because you really want to make this play early on because their only out to it really is Flick. I mean, obviously in lilhearthie he does have the sap too, but that the challenger can still be very useful even if they bounce back to hand. And that only still clears one of these giant 4/11s that we all know you're not going to have an easy way of dealing with.
Plus, there's a really good chance that there's just a giant coming out next turn because everyone likes just seeing a 6/8 with Rush come out of nowhere with a bomb wrangler. Just
pre-evolved Mogu Flesh Shaper on command.
Pretty much.
I mean, and that's a lot of health. 11 health, guys. Like, that's going to be tough. And we see his hand knowing he doesn't, like, lilhearthie does not have anything right now that's going to deal with this. He's really just banking on drawing Flick.
Yes. That is probably the only out.
Probably.
Yeah, I think we're probably going to see a Skipper Bloodsworn.
I'm like wondering, do you play the Skipper into Brute or Skipper into
you would go to the bomb
just
first.
the Wrangler? Yeah.
So you go the bomb, that's 6, 7. No, 6 damage minions on board.
Oh, right, because you can
play it for 1.
Yes, that's right. You could play both.
Yeah, and so this will clean up the 4/3, and then you go face.
Yeah.
Oh my. That is rough for lilhearthie.
You might choose to keep the 6/7 with a nod to a Flick coming down on turn curve. Yep.
Oh, that's a good play because then the 6/7 is going to be really hard to deal with.
Yes, this is the textbook way of finishing the game with Warrior, of make
Pretty
this
much.
an insane board
More
in the
or
mid
less,
game.
right?
It's just the Rampage Bloodstorm combo is so insane.
It is. It can be a little hard to to pull off effectively. But that's the thing. It's like this deck with only a few cards can regain so much advantage, and then suddenly you're just like, oh god, what do I do now?
I mean,
Yeah.
it used to be a lot harder before they got 3 mana, 1/10, kill a minion. It's just that card made it really easy.
Yeah, and
Well, it did,
got-
but yes and no, I would argue. It did. In some ways, it makes it easier because of like the early Rampage plays where like they just with Mercenary where they just can't deal with it. But on the other hand, it's like there are definitely situations where if your opponent has a big board of minions, you don't really have a good way of playing it into something.
So, like, that's if they have only big minions, though.
Yeah.
True.
And typically, the time you play this is turn 3, 4, or 5, where it's fine.
Yeah.
Right.
Like,
I'm just saying more so in the late game it can be problematic. And there's that giant battle rage. Oh my god, another mercenary. Are you kidding me right now?
This
So
one
you-
looks...
This looks very grim for lilhearthie.
It does.
I would say throw the bomb in and then mercenary the other blood brood, because at this point, Flick is there's no way Flick is going to do much.
Yeah, Flick comes down, you still have your 4 attack minions to end the game.
Right.
I think that also doing that lets you, if you trade in Skipper, you play the other Bloodsworn, you get to go face with everything else.
Oh, that's actually even better. Yeah,
and
I
then
say do
put
that.
them to 4.
Oh, okay, interesting.
Choosing to just
Mayanadon.
preserve the board that he has.
I mean, that's fine.
That is fair. Same time,
I suppose.
he's
Oh, I see
almost
what
dead.
he's doing.
Oh
might
yeah,
even get a
this
lethal.
might just be lethal
Yeah,
here.
because now
Also-
he can blow up the bombs. Okay.
If you were going to display,
Yeah,
you definitely want to be in a range.
Yeah.
And yep, that's good. That'll do it.
I guess killing's better than setting up for a
Yeah.
kill next turn. Yeah.
I mean, I think that's how the game works, right?
Sometimes.
I mean, Mayanadon clearly saw something that we did not. So good for him. Good on him.
Yeah, he saw the RNG going his way, but on average,
Yeah.
it would go his way.
Very
So,
much.
Yes. The average result is the 5 damage.
yeah.
So now, lilhearthie has left, I believe, the Demon Hunter and Rogue,
Yes.
right? And then that leaves Mayanadon with the Hunter. No, sorry, not the Hunter.
Just the Demon Hunter.
Just
There's
the
a
Demon Hunter.
So can a
There's a
Demon Hunter and a Rogue stop a Demon Hunter? It's not impossible.
It's not. I would say that you could make the argument that Hearthie's list has some advantages that let it be a little bit more favored into Demon Hunter, but
I mean, the SI helps.
The SI helps.
Yeah.
It would be nice to also have the Spy Mistress, but
Yeah.
right, exactly.
And also the
And
Demon
the
Hunter.
swaps against the Priestess can be good. Oh
Yeah.
wow, that's a pretty dream draw. Oh, never mind. Oh right, because he doesn't have the coin.
No coin, so
No coin.
probably just toss. Look
I
for
probably would have
backstab.
kept the Seal Fate though, just for that,
Yeah, I
just to
like
guarantee
keeping
yourself
Seal
early
Fate.
removal.
Yes.
Oh, and there's the SI. I guess his deck is telling him something now.
The fires of vengeance burn bright.
Are you willing to take 6? You are. I
I
agree.
think he is. Yeah.
Little clunky here, but the rest of the curve looks ideal.
Yeah, you do have the 4,
Yeah.
the 5.
You
I
have
think you're
3,
fine.
4, 5 into coin at some point to do an I-beam and then have skull on 6. Yeah,
Well,
this
you're
is...
going to coin next, so you can get the Satyr out.
Yeah,
Ooh.
probably. That's true.
Here's the question: do you praise Galakron, take 1 additional damage, weapon up,
No.
and then this way you have like a way to trigger both of your combo 3-drops next turn.
I think you're probably just going to play your SI or your Evil Miscreant. I
You can
think
also-
SI.
I mean, I know it sounds
Yeah.
crazy, don't get me wrong, but at the same time, it does allow you to take advantage of both of them combo-wise, and it's only 1 more damage.
Yeah, but you need board. Like you're playing
You're
too
right.
slow if you do this. You know, you'll get 2 lackeys, or you'll get 3 lackeys. I think if you just go the SI, I'd rather have a ton of lackeys to
No, you're right.
be versatile with.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So he could just play the
how-
SI and trade into it, and that's still pretty good, even if he decides he wants to use the I-beam on it next turn.
Yeah, I
mean-
think that
Oh, go ahead.
honestly, the Evil Miscreant might be the better one, just because you can buff it and clear up a little bit more. But it looks like he's going to choose to go with your play. I just think you're going to be pretty behind here.
Yeah.
All I see is weakness.
You will have the SI to recover here, but
Yeah,
Right.
you do have that, but
it's not even
And,
that
uh,
good.
it's a little awkward for them to deal with. Because you'd like to play Fellscream on 4, Priestess on 5.
Right.
So
I think you can. You just ignore it.
yeah,
Oh, definitely. I'm trying to think. The Evasive Worm, probably.
You
Yeah.
just want rush. Plus it dodges
Yeah.
I-beam.
Yeah. That too.
yes,
I would just say also that like as much as I think like the tempo is good, if now he was doing what he did last turn, guaranteed him an answer to the Satyr, so it does kind of work out.
yeah. I think. Yeah,
I was gonna say he wants to Fell Scream so he can Priestess next turn. It's pretty straightforward.
Gonna feel rough getting hit by the Faceless potentially, but double sap is gonna be quite helpful here.
Yeah. Is this a trade the SI into the 2/1 and then Faceless?
I definitely think so, because the other option
Yeah.
is to sap one of these in Miscreant or just do Miscreant with a hero power.
Mm-hmm.
So I think you'll develop the 4/4 and clear off the board.
Right. And still having a 4/4 is good because it'll still be very it won't be very likely that Priestess kills the full health Corruptor,
Yes.
which is quite relevant.
Oh,
Okay.
There's the sap play.
Interesting. Okay.
Board is
I mean,
also
Still work very nicely.
fine into the Priestess. You definitely have a way to remove with the Faceless. So
That
think
is
that
probably
that's-
one of the better sap targets, so I would actually say that's fine.
yeah.
My blades will sing.
Ooh, that's pretty good though.
Mm-hmm. And we know there's a sap
Hmm.
for an easy answer.
Yeah, I think you want to remove this though with just the
Yeah.
Faceless.
I feel like when you have the option here, I would say play the Ethereal Lackey or play the Taunt Lackey.
I
just
like I like the taunt. Oh, it looks like
he's gonna sap it.
Sap it? Okay.
Hmm.
I guess you do develop more on the board this way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think he's also probably thinking, well, he knows he's not going to be able to play Priestess next turn, so that's very relevant.
Right.
And I guess that's also it's also noteworthy. Like, hey, his hand is a bit clunky. It has a bit of high cost minions. Sap really does work when you consider that factor. We'll just have to see if he can kind of turn the tables before Mayanadon's ability to play those minions has a major impact on the state of the game.
Yeah, it's looking pretty good for Arthur here.
Yeah.
I think that might have been like going to a 1/4 and a 1/5 is really awkward against Warglaives.
Mm-hmm.
But
Now he's just going to clear.
yeah, you just go ahead and clear the whole board. Keep your single weapon swing to help your Priestess clear up the board next turn, probably.
Probably.
Oh. Mayanadon
Oh,
does
no.
want to hit the weapon face.
He just said, "Me go face." Okay then.
Yes, he is at 14, I guess, is also the call. We'll probably see Ethereal, and my guess is a Kronks just to add the gain 5 armor to hand.
Is this
That's
where you
fine.
take contract?
Oh, I think it's
I-
correct.
I think
Prep.
it's
It's prep. Okay.
is it prep?
I mean, I'm just thinking like unidentified contract gives you such an easy out, but I do get it. It's 6 mana though.
So expensive, and
It's
this
way
Kronks
too
will help you clean up the Priestess Vara Miracle.
All right.
Mhm.
Well, excuse me for having an opinion.
So there is a skull. I think it's happening this turn. You play the one you just drew because it's easier to outcast it.
Yeah.
Alas, poor warlock.
That is a keep all.
Yeah.
I think, yeah, because so depending on what you get
You could
next
equip
turn.
Umberwing.
So the other thing is like, what if you draw something you can't outcast next turn?
Yeah. You
But
could
you
draw
can
your
always
priest.
outcast the skull and see what you get off that one.
Yeah.
I do think the Umberwing should come down.
I don't
the
think
other
the
thought
Altruist ever comes down here. I don't know why this is happening.
Yeah. You put him to 10, but you don't have a good way to finish the game.
No, and you know he can go to 17 or to 15 real easily.
Yeah, that as well.
So many options.
From nothing.
Rap Waxmancy?
Yeah, I think Wax Fancy's fine. You gonna prep the Waxmancy, or are you prepping the Eviscerate? So I feel like you always play Galakron here, right?
I think you do.
Just because you're so low?
Yeah.
I guess
Oh.
not.
This does mean you're really close to lethal.
Yeah.
You're also really close to being lethal.
Yeah, you do present the counter lethal here if you don't die. But, you know, what do you really die to here?
I mean, the fact that he wasted the Altruist makes this play a lot better. I think Mayanadon was punished for wasting the Altruist pretty much.
Yeah, especially, you know, Sightless Watcher came off the top, so you could have gone Altruist, Sightless Watcher, stack like something like a Twin Slice or something cheap, and then, you know,
yeah,
you don't really get to the use the skull with it, but you know, clean up the board very likely, and you deal a lot of damage.
Right. This does seem to close the game, though.
Yeah, I think that this might finish the game for lilhearthie, because there's no way for him to clear without face tanking anything at this point.
Yeah.
So all this damage is going to connect and end the game.
And did he already play Metamorphosis?
No, the Metamorphosis is right there, but you don't have the mana to finish it or play it.
Yeah, we can also see the Abyss.
Yeah, so the Abyss in hand with the board will finish the game.
Yeah.
So we're going to see the match come down to the Demon Hunter and Mirror.
Yes. So I think that, you know, that play that we said that playing the SI was, you know, it was right to hold the SI and have that swing coming back the other way, and get all the value that ended up really paying off for Hearthie. And I think JR was also saying that that was the play. So
Yeah, that's true.
yeah, I think that pivotal decision let Hearthie take the board back commandingly.
I think something interesting that we're seeing today, I just want to note that the Demon Hunters have been scoring. We at least saw 3 games in one side and 2 in the other one where the Demon Hunter lost.
Yeah, like that's been my experience where it's not the Demon Hunter that immediately punches through. I think the meta has kind of really molded, like, formed around the Demon Hunter. So a lot of strategies are made to counter, like,
Right.
we saw an ooze in a Demon Hunter, which is a nod to the mirror.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like we see Satyr Overseer in Hearthie's list. Again, nod to the mirror. I think that Hearthie's playing a quicker list. He's playing like a more pre-nerf list without the Priestess to try and get under and get the board quicker. And I think that double Frenzied Fellwing pickup is going to be really important.
It's going to be relevant for sure.
Yeah.
The fires of vengeance burn bright.
Now, is it ever a coin both Blazing Battle Mage and Sigil Runner here? See what it is, or do you open Sigil Runner and consider it?
That's a good question. I mean, maybe you see what you draw off the Sigil Runner first.
Yeah, because that's what you would do, but I think you want to play the Battle Mage over the Sigil Runner.
Right. But maybe he doesn't want to do that because he knows the board just gets cleared.
Yeah, choosing to Battle Fiend alongside this.
Interesting. I mean, that's not a terrible play necessarily.
No, you do have a good answer to your Battle Fiend right in your face, but that's fine.
Right. But I mean, now Hearthie's going to see Mayanadon doesn't have a way to clear both, so that's pretty relevant.
Yeah, a Twin Slice would have pretty much closed the game there.
Yeah. Like, the double Fellwing is very awkward if you can't actually get them out quickly, so that'll do it, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do think that you probably just go face.
You kind of have to. I mean, what advantage do you have from,
like... You're still in the game, but at the same time, you don't have any minions anymore.
They can't clear everything.
No, they can't.
I think you're... Yeah, you get to keep this, and they'll be able to trade off your Satyr, but, it's not like Hearthie has a good play to go alongside that.
Yeah, that's the problem.
Well, he can draw something with a Sigil Runner.
Yeah.
Right.
So if the Sigil Runner picks up, like, another Chaos Strike or a Twin Slice or something, so...
Yeah.
Ideally, he'd like to pick something up that will let him deal with the Satyr without having to sack off the Frenzy Fellwing.
I think that you're probably trading off the Satyr and freezing their face.
At the same time, freezing their face next turn is so much better, because then turn 5, a lot of what they want to do involves that.
Yeah, I think the only other thing is you develop the 4/3, which is important, but choosing to just clear off as much of the board as possible, I guess. I think that you just you develop a 4/3. They have to trade their board into it. They can't use any part of their face, and then you can cane the next turn and likely take the board from whatever they play.
Okay, but this turn is a little bit less awkward with a Twin Slice drawn, but it's still very awkward.
Right.
Yeah, the next turn's really set up because now you feel fine to just use your face to clear off the 2/1.
Yeah.
I think here is definitely where you're going to freeze face, like you said, where you want to prevent the Glavebound from stealing the game here.
Yeah. We know there's going to be metamorphosis into Twin Slice, Glaive Bound, and just throwing a blast somewhere.
Yeah, so that could be up to 11 damage.
Yeah.
Demons. 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 Time grows short.
So what, if you're not freezing the face, what are you considering? Like, you probably figure the hand's pretty clunky and likely includes at least a Glaive Bound, if not Glaive Bound and Priestess and Skulls and whatnot.
Yeah, I think if they didn't play turn 4, you definitely know they don't have reduced the cost of Priestess. You expect there to be Metamorphoses or
Yeah,
Priestess. Definitely Glaive Bound.
I think you're probably playing just for as much board as possible. The cane gets cleaned up by the
Yeah.
hero power, though.
I think you're fine.
You don't
I
mind
think-
that?
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
don't
it's
think I
gonna
hate it.
clean something, right?
Yeah,
I
that's
think-
my thought.
I think it works out because you're putting on some nice damage on the board, and if they're forced to use off their hero power to kill something instead of dealing 5 damage to you and you continue to have the life advantage, I think that's pretty.
Yeah, the worry is I don't think you're gonna keep the life advantage for very long after this turn.
No.
I think is when you start really taking big chunks of damage. You do have Altruist, so maybe you look for a Altruist kill, but your skull will dance on the right side of your Altruist, and so you can't outcast and set up your big skull. It's kind of just really awkward right now.
Right,
Yeah,
but at least
hand.
but you're still talking about 5 damage that was diverted from the hero power,
Yes.
so that is nice. But I agree, it's tough because there's no easy answer to this. The Spectral Sight is nice, but we'll have to see what that draws.
Yeah, I think it's.
I see.
Ooh.
Hmm.
Yeah, you just develop as big of a board as you
You
can.
kind of
here,
have
so.
to.
Yeah. Going to get
Let's
answered
see.
by the skull, though.
Well, answer debatably.
Skull
It
always
depends
gets
on what
away.
he draws.
I
I
mean,
mean, you're not wrong, but it's like the skull. Considering he's got only 7 mana, it's I think the bigger issue is that you can do 11 damage this turn. Mayanadon can do 11 damage this turn and put lilhearthie down 14,
Yeah.
which is pretty significant.
I think that you do clear off the 4-2 though.
yeah.
Because you're not
So-
finishing the game.
Right,
Then
that's true.
the rest of this might connect, or you might even consider trading. Yeah.
Yeah, I can see that.
I think trade. Your big goal is to get that
That's-
second skull. Maybe you can discount things enough
Yeah.
to just play a priestess.
Yeah.
This is
So-
pretty good though, because now Hearthie can create 3 minions and clear off the 6/2.
Yeah, I
So-
think you clear off the 6-2 and play as much of your hand on the right as you can.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
I mean, there's no reason to play the Altruist or the Skull yet, so.
No.
No.
Yeah, if you don't draw something to set up an outcast, you probably skull next turn though. Just because you want to try and set up an Altruist more than you want to outcast the skull.
Mm-hmm.
Grow impatient.
Yeah, so I think it's just everything on the right side of the hand and clear up the board.
Time grows short.
So something I've noticed is you never can play around opposing Altruists very well, other than not committing fully to the board, but then you're just too slow and you set up for an Altruist to kill you later, because now they can play slower.
That's true.
Right.
So it's like very interesting in what you give non-Altruists.
Plus, the
And
effectiveness
this
of
one?
Altruist is somewhat based on just the makeup of your hand, which is not something you can control entirely.
Yeah. So
Well, there's
get
less
this
RNG than
skull.
you think, I think.
Alas,
Yeah, you can set it up, but
Right,
like,
there are stuff you can do to set up, but ultimately, like, I'm just saying it's going to be a factor at times as far as the, you know, what is in your hand and like how easily you can play around.
Right.
really looking for that I-beam.
Or that Altruist.
Yeah, or the Altruist.
Altruist is definitely the big one.
Yeah, I think that you still want to be able to clear up as much as board and present the biggest board you can right here with the Satyr.
Sure.
Yeah.
You can clear this entire board and then push 2 face and set up 5 other 2/2s and give yourself a 6/2.
True.
So
This
didn't
is
do
rough.
The last attack.
didn't do the last one. No.
Oh no. Oh, that's pretty. Oh, it's pretty unfortunate. Like, this is one of those things where lilhearthie has a chance, but he needs to be able. So I think the only thing he can really do is freeze the 5/2, and then kill off the 4/2, right?
If Mayanadon had done the last attack, this was game over, I believe.
So the last attack deals 2 to the face. That's him 217.
Yeah, if he clears off the 4/2, he can definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what he has to do. That's pretty much it.
If he had, but.
Yeah. And the problem is, even like, the worst part about this is that even if he holds on to the Altruist, it's still going to be very rough next turn.
Yeah.
Oh, he's gonna. Oh God, Desperation Skull. No.
I think you have to skull here. It's
I
the
agree.
only way you win this game.
But that's game, right?
Yeah, I do think that's the game.
Yeah.
So if you had ripped an I-beam, you can clear off that, and then you set up for possibly the Altruist kill the next turn.
Yeah.
So it is the winning line, but yeah, there was no way out.
This was a really intense series, though.
Yeah, this was quite
I was
the
rooting
crazy
for
series.
both of them, but I just man, that was 3-2 though.
Wow.
Yes.
What a series, though.
That's an understatement.
Yeah. Mayanadon wins 3-2 in a super tight squeeze in the end. Let's see if he's available for an interview.
Yeah. So that does officially, they'll put Beard Boys back into this match, and it is going to come down to Inzi versus Sanguine.
Right.
Now, Inzi is going to need to win 3-1 or 3-0 in order to give Beard Boys the win. A 3-2 will leave them at a tie. But yeah, basically where we stand right now.
Let me add Mayanadon for the interview.
Hello.
Hey, Mayanadon, how are you doing?
Oh man. Yeah, that was stressful.
That was quite a match.
Yeah, it didn't have to be as stressful as it was. I definitely misplayed a couple times there, especially game 4. I think just got in my own head, and I played the Altruist early.
Right.
But yeah. Other than that,
Did you expect that match to come down to a Demon Hunter mirror?
I was afraid it would, because he has a more aggressive variant, so I knew I would kind of be playing the back foot and the defender there. And unfortunately, I didn't draw any of my priestesses. Like, that would have turned the game earlier too.
Right.
Because that's like the big bomb that you can throw down that really the aggressive demon hunter doesn't have an answer to.
Exactly.
But didn't find them, so had to kind of go with a different game plan. And luckily, was able to get there in the end. Very close though.
It looked very back and forth that last game for sure.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, I mean, I'm glad I won. I had a similar situation on stream yesterday for those who watched for Legacy, where it went to a game 5, and I don't know. I think those long series sometimes get to me. Those game 4 and 5 always like stress me out a little bit too much, and I'll make like
Right.
1 or 2, misplays that could cost me. So I need to
Right.
work on that. But yeah, no, I mean, I'm excited. Helping my team hopefully get there.
Yeah.
I think we need Inzi to win, and then we win the week, which would be nice.
Yeah, you guys will win as long as Inzi wins from 3-1 or 3-0. Now 3-2 would be a tie.
Oh, really? Oh, geez. Okay, so that makes me feel bad that I didn't win that game 4. Oh well. Hopefully, Inzi can seal it either way.
Yeah.
I think like either way, you guys it's nice to see all these close series happening that are really coming down to the wire.
Yeah.
No, it's definitely a good Hearthstone when that happens.
Oh yeah, I think so. I think it's good Hearthstone. I think we saw some very strong matches. A lot of decks. I mean, the Warrior just went crazy. That game was.
Yeah.
It did what
You just-
Warrior does.
Yeah, Warrior did its Warrior stuff.
Yeah, I was surprised by the Hunter ban. I guess lilhearthie didn't see me on stream yesterday where I couldn't get a win with the Highlander Hunter, and I was actually kind of worried that was going to stay up. But thank you to lilhearthie for taking that out of the equation, because apparently I can't play that deck at the moment.
Well, it does have a really good matchup against Priest and Rogue, so I would expect the ban there.
Yeah, no, it made sense, but it also, for the mind games, it calmed my nerves a little bit.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Well, do you have any last questions? Anyone you want to thank? Anything you want to say, Mayanadon?
I mean, just thanks to my team. I mean, good luck to Inzi, obviously, and hopefully we take the week. Awesome.
Any last questions, Based or JR?
No, just very tightly played both sides. It was a real fun match to watch.
Yeah, it just seemed like it was very intense the whole way through. Like they would really, it really could have gone either way. I really love when those matches happen. Like this, we were definitely hyping up this match, and I'm glad it lived up to the hype.
Well, I'm happy to give you a show, for today. So.
Oh yeah.
We expect nothing but entertainment from you, man.
Yeah.
I do my best.
Thank you all for joining me and for joining us today. I hope you guys had fun. Schoolstone will be back next weekend. I want to thank my co-hosts, basedinc and JR. I also want to thank everyone who played today, Mike V, AstralFrog, lilhearthie, and Mayanadon. Thank you all. Have a good Sunday, and we'll see you next week.
Yeah.
Later, guys.